Recording, take two. Okay. So in this video, I'll walk you guys through my tmux Neovim terminal kind of setup. See how I code with my terminal, I guess. So the terminal uses this is the terminal. Basically, it's just an iTerm2 terminal from somewhere online. I don't want to use the original terminal for MacBook. I use iTerm2. Everybody seems to use iTerm2, so I'm just following the mainstream version. And it's pretty nice. Okay, let me pull up my notes, see what we're dealing with today. Okay, chezmoi. Nice. So let's go to chezmoi. So chezmoi is what I use to maintain my config file, right? So chezmoi quick start. If you're new, then just chezmoi init and then follow direction for getting started. But if you want to test out my dot file, we call dot file like configuration file. So here's my dot file. So if you want to use this, test them out, I guess. What you can do is chezmoi init and then the link, right? So it'll be like, let me zoom this thing up a little bit. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. Chezmoi init and then this. Press enter and it should give you basically my config, and you can type in Neovim or whatever. Does it? Yeah, covers that. Okay, now let's talk about tmux. So tmux is like a multiplexing terminal helper. I don't know if I use it right. Yeah, terminal multiplexer lets you switch easily between several programs in one terminal. Keep them running in the background and you do something else. Pretty straightforward. Okay. So you can just type tmux and then type Control BD to quit it. Pretty straightforward. The problem with it is that it takes a lot of muscle memory to remember all this. So what I do is I have a little helper script, right? Yeah, right here. I have a little helper script that I use to make my experience better. Basically, this thing will help me manage my repository, like condition and all that. So I won't type tmux like randomly like this. What I would do is I would type sesh tab tmux, enter, and type whatever I need in here. So Brill, Fermilink, MLIR tutorial, or maybe Shuriken. I can also find that. What I do to make this happen is I store my stuff in here to signify that, okay, this is the repository that I want tmux-sesh to look into. and when I do it, it will look in all the, in that file folder for these kind of projects. Basically. Okay. Oh, I should show you different buttons. Yes. So at the script location, so you got the script location, right? This is the script location. If you just want to test it out, then just pop it in there. And it should work. Okay, let's show you some navigation, right? So I'm gonna do tmux-sesh and then new sesh to start a new session. It will give you two terminal down here. First one shows you a Neofetch. Usually that's for my Neovim setup, right? The second one is this. Gives you 3 different tabs, right? So Control H and L makes you switch between the 2 tabs, right? You can also press space. Control J and K is for up and down switching. Now, if you type Control B and then the string symbol, it splits vertically, right? And then I can type Control BX to remove that panel. Control B percentage is I guess horizontal splitting. My sense of direction is so bad, but Control BX, kills it again. I think that's pretty much it. Okay, that's pretty soon. Okay, let's talk about terminal. So let's look at something like this, right? So I enter a repository, and as you can see, this looks maybe a little bit different than your terminal, but the way that you get these beautiful things is you go to, I should close this. You go to all my Zish, right? And you install it, and then you go to Starfish, and you install it, and that should give you, or they even have a demo. Look, it gives you these nice things, very nice. Oh, you should also have a nerd font. I forgot. Yeah. To make things beautiful, because the original font is not very good, so it takes a little bit of configuration, but I think it's very worth it. Okay. Add to in is next. So when I type the up arrow, you see that I have this add to in here. This lets me find previous commands without having to press up so many times that it broke my finger. So if you want all git related commands, you just type git, right, and then it shows all git stuff. If you want all cmake command, right, it shows all cmake. If you want cmake -- build, and it goes into more detail, right? Maybe you don't want cmake, you want cargo. It can also show you that. Just ignore that. Cargo build also works, right? Maybe nvim, right? It shows you all nvim stuff, which is pretty nice. So that's add-to-in the sesh. So you would I guess copy paste this thing in and then it just works. It's amazing like that. Okay, that's a little demo. A lot of people use it. Maybe you don't know it yet. You should give it a try. Okay. So usually you customize your terminal through like a zsh rc or bash rc. In my case, I use zsh rc. So I have like a little omization and my theme here. Down here, I have to activate virtual environment because usually sometimes I work with Python and I don't want every time I open my Python, I don't activate my virtual environment, so I just have an automatically set to do that. I also set stuff like LVM, right? Because I keep having to rebuild my CMake and stuff like that, so it's pretty helpful to do that. Stuff like Atwin, Starship, and Cargo is also in here. Allpam as well, for Allcamo. Pretty straightforward. Okay. I don't know what I wrote here. Okay, now that all the dot file is finished, except for Neovim, maybe I should show you guys my dot file. I've done it already, right? Oh yeah, I have. Okay, let's talk about Neovim, right? So I'm gonna sesh into some random folder. Just use Brill for now. This is just some random Rust project. You don't need to care about it. As always, the first terminal is like Neovim. That's for you to, well, that's for me to pop up Neovim in. So I'm gonna do that. For the second terminal, this is usually what I have for my git status. Like right when I pop like a tmux-sesh, it automatically gives me a git status. This gives me a ls and this is empty. Maybe I should type in this so that I can show you guys the Neovim stuff as well. So here's how I configure my Neovim. I have a file type plugin. I don't code in these things, but I don't know. Once upon a time I used them. Basically I would customize each, I guess, things for this one. Okay. Lua is the main ingredient for my configuration. So config stands for just normal stuff. Like this is all non-online, so this is all offline things, right? And this is all online things. Basically, whatever plugins I have, I put it in here. Pretty simple. People usually put them all in init.lua, right? I like to keep it slim, right? Each file is like its own category. This keeps the whole thing down, so it doesn't complicate things, and it's usually easier to debug. Okay, that's good. Let's talk about Neovim now. Let's see. Okay. File navigation. So when I pop in Neovim using nvim dot. I use Neovim 3. Just type in Neovim 3 on Google, and then it should take you to like a GitHub repository or something. Basically, I use this to navigate my file, right? Pretty self-explanatory. When I press enter, I go into a new tab. So I don't use buffer. I just go into a new tab for each file, right? So everything makes up a new tab. But if I want to switch between them, then I switch like this. Should explain like space FB is for buffer searching, right? And then yeah, that's it. And now the question is, when I'm working on a code base, how do I search for maybe a file, a text? For a file, what I would do is I use telescope, and for file searching I press space FF, and it brings up like this nice interface for me to search on, right? If I want to find all file that starts with main RS, I would do this, and it'll give me a match on all these files, right? I press enter and go into it. I press space Q, I exit it. Same thing, but for text is space FG. So function main, right? I can see all this function main here. Same thing, space, enter. You go into the same like buffer, or if you want a new tab, you press Control T. Now you go into a new tab. It's a little tricky to think about, but it works for me. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me show you nav body as well. Shouldn't do that. Okay. So usually, I think new Neovim people, they would just keep doing things like this, or if they get a little bit better, they use Control D or U to go up and down, right? You can do that for like a file of like 150 lines, but as soon as it gets to like 200-300, it gets a little hard to do that. Or like GG or like G, a big G, to go up and down to the top and bottom. That works, but now what I usually do is I use nav buddy. So like this, and I map it to space N, right? So I can just go J and K up and down, right? Oh, actually, am I tripping? Oh no, I'm not. Yeah, and it will show me basically the general hierarchy that my Control D and Control U can never do for me. So I look at this and I say, okay, CFG, this has 5 members. Implement CFG has 3 functions. This one also have 3 functions, right? So it's much nicer. So that's nav buddy. That's why I use in like a big 300, like a 1000 file, right? if I have to work like a big repo. Okay, now folding. I use ZA to fold and ZA to also unfold. It is a little bit primitive, but I think since I don't need to use fold a lot, it doesn't really bother me, right? I just fold it, and then if I don't care, or if I don't want to fold it again, I use snap body, right? Just to go straight away. Like, why would I fold it again? If I know I can just skip it using better means, right? And if I really want it back, I don't even have to unfold it. I just go here and then go to it function like this. It's much faster. Okay, git blame. That's good. So you can see here, each line has like a little virtual text of like the commit message and like who the committer is, as well as the commit hash. I set it up on a per line basis because sometimes I really want to know if if a bug happens, if I'm the dumbass that does it, or if there's somebody else I need to contact for it. Basically, haven't figured out a way to copy this hash automatically. Maybe I should do like space YH or something, but right now it's not working. So let's get blame. Let's talk about automation. Okay. So you probably notice I don't type this and then enter. What I type is I type space Q to quit like a buffer. That is usually faster. If you think about it, right? Colon Q WQA and then enter, that's like 5 keystrokes. I don't like having to type 5 keystrokes. I'm very lazy. So I map it to space Q. Another thing is, like let's see, I'm adding all these things, right? Usually I have to type space W, enter. That's like what, 4 keystrokes? I don't like that. Usually what I do is I type space S and it just auto saves for me. It's much faster, more efficient for my finger. Yeah. Oh, space. Yeah, let's talk about these 3 things as well. So in my Neovim, space B is for building a project. Space R is for running an executable for a project. And space T is for testing a project. So if I type space B right now, you can see that's finished building. The reason I have a key map for this is I usually just want to be quick on my feet, as well as the ability to copy like all the error message or all the warning messages. It's pretty helpful, right? You just copy this with a yank and then off you go to Google or Stack Overflow or ChatGPT, and then click space Q to exit it. So it works in a very smooth and coherent way, right? Space R, it says an error just because the Rust project is like a library project right now. It doesn't have any executable to run. Space T is test, right? So it runs all the tests for me. And it exited. Okay, that's pretty clear. Yes, I should show you about this project. So this BRT thing comes from this. This is basically my repository. These are the key maps, right? And if you look into how to config them, oh, this is a lazy installation. If you look into how to config them, what you would normally do is something like this, right? For each thing that BRT finds, like if BRT finds this in your folder, it would associate it with this thing, right? Basically. Yeah, pretty straightforward. I have support for 5 files right now. I should add more, but I don't use anything else, so I don't know. Be helpful if you guys can contribute, but yeah. Okay. Oh, decorations. Yes, let's talk about decorations. So let me build it again. Dominance. Yeah. Okay. So dominance. Great. So in my Neovim, stuff like this would pop up, right? So these are the decorations of my Neovim. W is warning and H is help. Pretty straightforward. Yeah. And then if I type stuff like to do, it would light up like a Christmas tree. Fix also light up, I think. Yeah. Bug also warn, right? Stuff like this also light up. So whenever I'm exploring like a new code base, it's pretty helpful. I also use it in my code base, but usually I file like a GitHub issue if it's my own code base. Yeah. I also have hints, right? Usually you would see something like this. These are the inlay hints, virtual hints, whatever. Basically, if I type GD, oh, it will go to the definition. If I type GR, it goes to the reference, right? So GD goes straight to the definition. Control O to go back. And if I type GR, it shows me where am I using all these things, right? I type here and then it goes here, and then basically I can just keep on exploring, I guess. And then just Control O to go all the way back. So now I'm back in the original point. Okay. So right here showing help. So what I can do to accept this help is I press space LA and I type in 3, enter, and it fixes for me. All I have to do after that is press space S to save. And voila, all the warning, all the hints disappear. Pretty cool. I should also talk about these things. So this tree-sitter LSP setup, I don't use a plugin for that. What I did is I use Neovim structure for that. So I think I have it somewhere. Yeah, Neovim tree-sitter, I think. Wait. Let me search for it. Yeah, navigation. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so for LSP, right, I set up these things. So LA is code action, LR is rename, DF is declaration, DC is, DF is definition, DC is declaration. Usually I just use GD because it keeps prompting me with GD, so I use it. But yeah, I should use these things more, just because LTH shows you the type hierarchy, right? And this shows you type definition, which I think is pretty helpful. I just don't use it that much for some reason. I just don't feel the need to. But it's there. Okay, I think that's all my configuration. That's it. I'll talk to you guys later.